4. That's the one I played a lot with my brothers. But I completely fell off of where we were at. But as far as like controllers, I think the best one that I would say that I constantly am using is between GameCube and like music games, because I enjoy rhythm games that have an actual controller. And then you're in between GameCube and PlayStation, you'd say?
Yeah.
What would you say is the worst then? Because I'm adamant on the human body. I think the human body is the worst controller.
I guess that would
the Kinect.
Probably be that. I never played that though.
You never actually played it?
No.
You're not missing much.
I never had an Xbox, and we didn't get the PlayStation Move or whatever it was called.
Oh yeah, that existed.
What
about the Wii Fits? Were those any good? Did you ever have one of those?
I didn't play the Wii Fits.
Me
had
neither.
a Wii.
Yeah.
I don't think I remember playing any. I forget. I played a game.
Yeah.
What did I play? That
it was something.
It might have been an Uncharted game, and it had very subtle moments
where
like, oh crap, now you need to use controls, like motion controls, for like 2 seconds, and then that's it.
Oh.
It was like, oh, here's like something you have to like avoid it and like move it, and like those little moments I like appreciate.
Okay.
I was like, nice. I'm not gonna like try to play a whole part of a level just like steering around like this.
Right.
But it was like a very subtle thing that happened like maybe like once or twice in the game. It wasn't like something that happened a lot. But it was enough to be like, oh yeah, this mechanic exists that was used well.
That's fair. Do you feel that like a majority of games, at least now that are released, should have mouse and keyboard like accessibility? Or do you feel like, let's say it's a console exclusive, it should only have accessibility for a controller?
Nah, I think, and we talked a little bit about accessibility before. I think there should be options for everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think now almost the other way, like games you only get on Steam. I think it'd be crazy if they didn't have controller support.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, or vice versa. If there's like a game that comes out now, like if it doesn't have keyboard mouse support and you can get it online, it's kind of weird.
Yeah. I guess I'm more looking at it like from the actual console perspective, because I don't have consoles anymore. I have my computer and I have a Wii, and like I have the Switch, but like I barely play it.
Switch.
Yeah. It's just not it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think having accessibility to all of it is good, and the different types. It's hard to kind of really. Sorry, I'm like trying to think.
Thinking is hard.
Yeah, I think it's just good to have that both ways.
Yeah,
and have accessibility. You get to choose, right? Like there's some games that I think, especially like I kind of going back to like PS4 controller, most games that I would probably pick up and play, I'd probably try to use my PS4 controller. Like when I do eventually play Ori and the Blind Forest,
which you will.
Which I will.
Which you will.
I will.
You fucking
I'll probably that's probably the one I'll go after once I do this Life is Strange. But that I'm going to play on controller.
Okay.
Like for sure.
Yeah. That's fair. I guess like I look at some games and I go like I just played this game with a controller and that is the only way I could have ever seen myself playing it, or vice versa for like mouse and keyboard. So for me, growing up, any game was console. And then when I got my first computer and I was able to experience the difference, in my opinion, I could never play a shooting game again with a controller. I can't. It
took me a long time to ever get to play on keyboard mouse.
I remember that because we would play Fortnite together.
We played Fortnite at the beginning, and I used controller.
Yeah,
and you were like, "No, man, you gotta do."
It's not working. Mouse. But that's when aim assist wasn't as recognized as being as good as it can be now, which is another concept in itself. Is people that'll say, "Well, I don't want to play a game that I'm going to use a controller. They're going to use keyboard mouse. I have my aim assist, but they have their whole arm for aiming. And it's just like, I don't know, those whole arguments are things that I find fucking hysterical, because it's just like, look, either side is going to have its drawbacks.
Yeah, you can't win in that argument.
You really can't. You just have to kind of accept how things are. And I like that, for example, right now, the Halo Infinite thing that's around, I don't think they've added a way to change this yet, but I'd imagine they're working on it, because it is a general option. But you can choose to either do crossplay or non-crossplay, I think, in like the future. Right now, it's only crossplay. But
Okay.
I'd imagine that means they're working towards you can do crossplay, but you don't have to. I don't think that necessarily means you're gonna like get queued with people that are still playing on a computer while you're playing on a computer with a controller, because that'll probably still exist.
Yeah.
But like it'll at least lower it, I'd imagine, by a lot, because in that game, aim assist is huge.
Did you know that there are people that would like rig it away to be able to use keyboard and mouse on their Xboxes?
Yeah, no, I could.
And then they'd go into like Fortnite lobbies of just Xbox players, like be able to build better than anyone.
Oh yeah, dude, you're such a fucking high skilled player when you're shitting on the babies. Like, yeah, it's really cool. People would do that all the time. People do that in mobile too. There's controllers for iPhones.
Yes,
you can plug it in and then use your controller in like video games. Thankfully, Fortnite's not on iOS anymore, so I don't think they could do it there. But like other devices, you could do that shit, and it's just like, damn, that's absolutely fucking wild that like people will go that far.
That's like a new market. I feel like I've seen more of that sort of controller, like
external controllers
that are like even to play games on the phone.
Yeah,
I think last year, like Nadeshot and Courage both, they're like Nadeshot like invested in like a company that was like starting to do these, not like 100 Thieves getting involved, but like like a personal endeavor.
Okay, well, best of luck on that flop. But I think mobile games got another year.
Yeah, it was like interesting, but it was like I'm not going to get that. I don't play anything on that.
It still blows my mind that there's a space for mobile games. I think we could talk about that one of these days, but like it forever blows my mind that mobile games have like
I didn't know that there was. And then I was watching the esports awards and I saw there was a whole big thing about like mobile player, and I was like,
yeah.
What?
Yeah. Because I mean it's pretty sick to be a good mobile player. Like that's pretty crazy. But like why? Why?
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess to each their own at the end of the day. Would you say you have some noteworthy controllers? Like things that you'd find maybe more unique than anything if you were to list out any? Because I got a few, but you can tell me if you've got any.
You go first, because mine's, I know, going to lead into something.
That's fair. First one that always will stand out to me is the Phantasy Star GameCube controller. If you're unfamiliar, the keyboard controller.
Oh,
the one that came out for Phantasy Star Online. So it's just got a whole QWERTY keyboard.
I played a dude. I went to Massachusetts. This was like way before I was in like much of Smashing. I was visiting my friend Patrick.
We've talked about him. Shoutouts.
And he was like, "Hey, we should go." I was playing a little PM. He was like, "We should go to this PM." It was right before the first ever blacklisted regional out there. It was like a PM regional.
Ooh.
And I went, and there was some dude. I think his tag was Bees.
Bees.
And he was a Game & Watch player, and he played on one of those controllers.
That's hysterical. I feel so bad right now. There's a homie from Buffalo who would definitely use that controller all the fucking time. I just loaded up Twitter when I meant to load up Facebook here. I can remember his name too. It's just I need to see him again. That's what'll do it. Yes, it's this guy. No. Oh, Zebo. That's his name. I know it is. His name's not on his Facebook, which I guess like I can't. Or is it Zambo?
Yes,
Fuck.
that sounds right.
Zambo sounds more. It's Zambo. It's Zambo. ZAMBO. Shout out Zambo. he always had one of those back when I would go to like Buffalo tournaments and shit. And I'm like, how do you play like this? Like, that's so weird. Like, it's probably not that bad, but it's probably so fucking weird. I couldn't do it.
Just like the Nintendo 64 controller.
No, that's closer. That's like as close as
But
it
like
can
one hand's like here, one hand's down here.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. They're not like equal.
No, I'm talking about with the game.
Yeah, I know.
Controller. It's
yeah, they're
the
still
same
equal.
distance. It's just
they're
like
farther. Yeah,
it's like a wheelchair. You just.
I'm talking about the Y coordinate.
Oh my god.
You know what I mean? Like the
Y
Z-axis
bullshit. Get the fuck out of here. What else is a unique controller? I would say the Wavebird. I think the Wavebird in itself is pretty unique.
You had the Wavebirds. Those were fun.
Mm-hmm. Those were good. And
My friend had a few of them. I'm trying to think. I mean, we got like the DK bongos.
The bongos are pretty unique. The Hori for N64, which is practically a GameCube controller.
That's what people use for speedrunning, right?
Sometimes within like the Mario community, they use those for Bowser spins. Most runners use an N64 controller for average like gameplay and whatnot, and then they switch to a Hori. For Bowser
switch?
Yeah. Yeah, if you watch any top
how are you
player,
allowed to switch? What?
You just unplug the controller and plug it in.
Just like during an animation you can't skip out of?
So when you go down the pipe normally, because again, it's only for Bowser throws that you'll really ever see people do this, unless they just casually run, or not casually, unless they just generally run with a Hori.
With a Hori?
Some do, but a majority of top players, you'll see it. And if you start watching any SM64 runners, even in any category, 16, 64, or 16, 120,
you gotta throw them eventually. I know that much.
So you jump in the I can't. You jump in the fucking pipe and you'll see them like they'll probably lean forward or some shit. They take out their controller, plug in the other one, and then they go. And it's just because it's easier. It feels better than an N64 controller to do this. I think that's one of the reasons, but they also don't want to damage the stick because you need this stick to be like really fucking good.
Yeah, and there's a lot of okay.
Which also, not to shameless plug myself, but your boy got a new PB in 16 star.
I saw that.
I got a new 16 star PB. I was so glad. I got a 2044. I'm getting closer to breaking a 20-minute after God, how long have I been running this fucking game? I started in February this year. So February 3rd was my start date of trying to learn 16 star.
Nice.
And it took 2 months. I have a comprehensive progression list for my times.
Hey,
I got a 39:20 on April 22nd. I got a 29:01 on May 14th, a 22:22 on June 11th, and then only 3 days ago did I get the 20:44. It took 6 months to fucking beat that time because I've been such a hard ass on myself. But yeah, we got that. What else is like huge? I don't know. I would even say like uniqueness can be found in like your own like already existing controllers. Like I look at the controller that I use to even play Smash and Speedrun now, and it's like the one I got from NES, which is like it's like a knockoff of an N64.
Oh, cool.
So like that's like what I got it modeled after. It's just not hollow on the inside.
Yeah,
he didn't have a purple hollow at that time, but this one still sparkles and it looks nice. And
that's cool.
I love this type of shit. I think controller colorizing and modifications, like my pink one, I like this one here. It's just pretty. Ooh. Like people just can do this shit, and they just look fun. You've got the frame one in the back there. I love that.
Didn't have to guess if I just turn around and point, you know?
I know where this is. But how about you? Have you thought of any other ones?
I don't know. I guess like the scuff ones to me were really unique at first. Because I was like, I guess you'd call me like a boomer. And I was just like, wait a minute. What do you mean you're adding more buttons to the back?
Right.
Like, what are those supposed to do? There's already designated spots for my buttons.
I already have enough of these.
I have buttons.
This is baloney. But now I think the biggest and most notable one, and that's of course where we're going to be getting closer to wrapping up, is of course talking about the new Panda controller.
Yes. Wait, before we get to that, let's talk about the box controller. Let's just
we can take a second on box controllers.
Let's give a little bit of overview. So why do box controllers? Well, I guess
hand pains, analog versus static input, or what is it?
Digital
analog
digital
versus
inputs.
digital inputs.
GameCube controllers suck.
There's that.
They're very inconsistent.
Ergonomically bad.
They don't make them like they used to. Sport. My Type 3 motherboards. Good stick box and tasks.
Doesn't matter.
The potentiometers gotta be where you need them.
Fucking capacitors.
I don't even know.
Shit's fucking ridiculous. It's
a lot.
Fucking ridiculous.
Let me. So I'm not gonna hear what you're gonna say because I'm gonna step away for a second. I want you to set the scene about how hard it is to find a good controller.
Oh,
I'm not gonna listen.
Fucking ease.
I'll be right back.
With ease, I mean, literally, when you look at the GameCube controller marketplace, you can go anywhere and probably pick up a GameCube controller. You can still go to probably GameStops or maybe like local stores and things like that, and you can buy a GameCube controller. But when you try to play certain video games, which of course this is not a Melee-based podcast, I promise you that. It is not a Melee podcast. There are so many factors to a controller that can make or break it being good. And I know Drew talked about that a little bit here with like the stick box and like the type of motherboard. And just there's so much that can play a point that you go to these places and you practically play what I had never heard of the term until I talked to JKJ, who, lottery. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, the fucking controller lottery. You really are. These things are fucking anywhere between, on a fucking beautiful day, $15 to $20 for a used controller, right? To $50 to $60 on a used from a place that actually realizes that they have value, to hundreds of dollars online to buy maybe multiple and then get scammed or get a bad controller, where I have gone through both and the shit sucks.
Yeah. And how many GameCube controllers do you think you own?
That work?
No.
Okay, then well over 40.
Oh, I don't have that many. But I do have a box. This whole box of controllers is controllers that don't work to the point that I would want to use them anymore. And at one point, I was going to send them off to like a modder to repair them and fix them. And some of them, like this is like a orange spice controller with like a paracord wrap. Used to be the feel, like, I'm not gonna go through all these. This controller feels so good, and it was easy my best, but like the snapback on it is like awful, and like
you could keep the paracord. Do you know how to take the paracords out? I could teach you how to take the paracords out, because keep that at the very least.
Yeah, but like I want to get this repaired. Like
sure,
my brother, I have like 2 of my brother's controllers too.
Yeah,
I have like probably like 15 controllers in here, and I like want to go to a modder and be like, hey, I just need like snapback capacitors, maybe some stick back replaced, and then just like have them back. But I don't want to say that I got burned, but I went to a modder who I hadn't really heard of. I'm not gonna list who they were.
I know this story.
I don't know. You know the story. It took them. I went to someone just kind of on a hunch, and I sent them, I think, like 4 or 5 controllers, and it was supposed to be like a 2-week job. That
took
went like
months.
3.5 months.
Yep.
And then like some of them were and like didn't hold up.
Yep.
I'm talking like weeks. Then they were like out.
He even gave me one of the controllers, because I know you got a couple back, and you gave me one.
And then at one point you're like, dude, this controller is just not that good.
After less than a month goes by, and the thing felt like garbage.
You were like, sorry, dude, I'm like not gonna, like, I know you got it for me. It's like, it's just not. And I was like, no,
this thing is
get it.
Shot. Yeah,
I get
absolutely
it. No.
Shot.
So I'm like, Yeah, it's a pain in the butt.
So all of this being said, you look at where we are now, and there's a revolution right now, I guess you could say. Not even a revolution, a revelation, I think is the better word for it, where Panda Global Gaming, I guess. I don't know, PGG.
I think they're just Panda Gaming now.
Just Panda Gaming?
I think so.
Okay, so Panda Gaming, or just Panda Global, whatever you know them by. Their logo is a cute little panda. Their logo colors black, white, and green. They have started a Kickstarter that has already hit over $1 million.
Yeah, slime's going in the pit, the tank. Did you see that?
No, it's not slime. Goal? It's Crimson Blur.
No. Oh, I did say slime on Crimson Blur.
Shut out the fucking Blur. They're doing $1 million so far that they've kickstarted for a perfect controller. It is designed to in its entirety be what you need it to be for. This is a melee controller, at least from what I understand. Like, this is really just going to be for like melee heads that are trying to play the game and have exactly what they need. The dash back, the snapback, the proper gate on the stick boxes and all that.
And a lot of it's like customizable too. Like I said, you could like purchase more like gate things.
Yep.
If you wanted to like have someone notch the gates, and of course like notches go away if that's what you're gonna do.
Yep.
Like
everything fades, and that's even how like current like marketing and things like that work.
But like making things, it's almost like keyboards. It's like making things hot swappable, making things that you don't have to buy. Like I said, if I just knew like how to like solder on a snapback capacitor or something, like I wouldn't have 15 controllers. I would just like fix the 3 controllers that work really, really well.
Right.
Kind of thing. But I don't. And then Panda comes out with a product like this where they go, hey, your stick box is like really fucked up or something. It's not that bad to replace a stick box. It's not. This is something. Shloop. Yeah. Shloop. Also, something that people don't really mention as much. There's like weights, I think, that you could like put on it.
Oh, really? I didn't know about that.
Yeah, for like a different feel.
That's sick.
You can, because like it's kind of like right now, like the ghetto weight removal is just taking out the rumble pack in your controller.
That is what I used to do until I started realizing I would play games with friends that, like, if we play Mario Party or you play Double Dash and you need the vibrate, I've ruined my controllers for people, so I stopped doing that. But
where's this controller?
It makes me wonder, though, because as far as all of this is going, there's 2 big topics that I know I want to talk about. If there's anything you want to, we can make sure of that to kind of wrap things here. It's a bit of a shorter episode today here. I hope you guys don't mind. But ultimately, the 2 things that I was going to talk about is how it affects the community and how it's going to affect tournaments. So originally, you look at like everything that happened with boxes, and there was that whole debacle where people didn't know about the legality on this. I don't think there's going to be a legality issue with this. I think you'll agree with me.
I want to counter that.
With?
The second Z button.
Okay.
There's 2... So there's on this Panda controller, there's Z buttons on both sides, and there's back buttons. The back
I didn't
buttons,
know there's back buttons.
Yes, there's back buttons. There are plugs that come with it to take off the back buttons and then just cover up the controller so you don't have big holes there.
Yeah.
So that is there because if they're like, oh, you can't use them, it's not like you have to like rest on a button you can't use. But there's 2 Z buttons on the Panda controller. And already people are like, that is an unfair advantage. And they're like,
is it? For what?
This is something people were talking about, specific situations. I know, who was it? It was like Face Roll. It was like Spark, Practical Tasks, and someone was talking about it. The biggest one someone was talking about was Luigi's like Tornado. I guess you can use
as a mash.
As a mash.
Let him have it. Let him
people
it's Luigi.
Well, people were saying that you would get like something that was like very hard, and like Mad Tire is the only one who like actually gets the most out of like mashes, to like a borderline TAS mash.
It's Luigi, man.
But there's also, I mean, I don't know. There was something else that they were talking about. I forget. There was little talks of it, like, oh, this is just better because of it. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if it's that major that it would be like a, hey, I don't know if this is gonna
maybe
happen.
jump cancel grabs might feel a little bit better instead of using all like your right hand to try and do the Y, the Z, and I don't know. Well, I mean,
I don't know.
Control stick. I don't know. I guess it's just really interesting in that regard. I hope there's no legality issues with it. I think we should be able to just embrace new shit. If it does become something that's gonna be fucking like, I don't want to be that guy, but like Hacks has not won a major. No player that uses a box, except I guess Tyler Swift in this case, right? Like, and he's not any. He's not.
I mean, there's better players than him. I mean,
there's better players.
Yeah, like Pipsqueak. Lod's been on the box.
Oh yeah, that is true. Lod.
Lod's
but even Lod just lost to.
I mean, Polish is nasty.
Polish is nasty.
Polish is nasty.
So is Lod, though. I mean, Lod's fucking nasty too. And now that he's switched to box,
I don't know if his box peach is quite where his controller peach
he
was.
played Fox. I think he did. I think he played.
Fox, I played
nice.
him. I played him in some online event, and it was a good set. But I was like, I don't know if this is where I would expect Lod to be.
Yeah. But my biggest point is, like, you don't see box players taking entire tournaments yet.
Yeah.
Even if they did.
Oh,
and if they did.
This is actually, is Leffen actually playing on the box?
No, he still plays on a controller.
He'll
play. He's entered things before, and he does, but like he's not beating people that are all that noteworthy.
I mean, I think he won like a European tourney. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, even still with him winning.
I mean, I don't think like Triff was there, but I'm pretty sure like Pipsqueak was there.
Okay, I could see it.
A while back, and he just kind of like, but I don't know. I don't think Leffen is actually playing on like switch to the box.
Yeah,
I don't entirely know though. Did you?
I might look at things that it's like if you can afford to get one, because some of them do have some pretty higher price points or whatever. Get it. And do it. If these guys are showing that it's possible, I don't see why there should be this issue of like, well, that's not fair for me. It's like, why is it not fair for you? Because you didn't buy one? Because you didn't put the work in to have one of these? Like, I'm not understanding what is the. If you know the counter argument for that, I would love to hear it. Or if anyone does, if they can comment it. I'm so confused what the counter argument is.
People don't like change, and they see change as attacking the things that they are already comfortable with.
That is a personal issue that you need to address in a therapy session. Because
here's the problem.
That is elitism.
Here's the problem. You say that it's a personal issue. Hold on.
Yeah. Okay.
But if you have over 10,000 Twitter followers, it's not. It's public.
That's a very good point.
It's not a personal issue.
Am I verified?
Tweet about it. It's not a personal issue if you tweet about it and 80 people come to your defense.
That's very true. But then I even look at like some of the shit like controller modders have said, and like a lot of them are like shitting on this Panda controller. And it's just like, I think I saw shit that was just like, I don't know. It's just like, it's first off, there's the concept of the partnership with Nintendo. And then there's like other shit that's along the lines of like, you know, we have hardworking modders out here already doing shit like this, and you just come out and make this whole thing without ever like even addressing us. It's like, who the fuck asked your permission? No one needs to do that. Like, let these fucking people have their business. If you're gonna have a problem with the fact that these guys have now come out with something that
just
puts
make
you
a better
out of business,
product. Just make a better product.
Unfortunately, that's kind of like the capitalist mindset.
Yeah, I know,
areas.
but like, I don't know. I don't want to. I'm not going too much shade, but I know there's a pretty popular modern modded controller that was out for a while.
Yeah.
That was out for a couple months, and then Cody was at a tournament, and they're like, "Oh shit, there's like something weird with the code," and they had to like calibrate everyone's because something was wrong, and then people would like
Yep.
send them in to get it calibrated. It's like
Yeah,
that
it's
is
just
like,
fucking ridiculous.
that's like unacceptable in terms of like what you want accessibility. Did you talk about the price of the Panda controller? I might have missed you saying it.
It is $90.
That is not
That's not
that
bad.
much when
is
you
not bad.
consider the amount. Like I said, the amount of money. I mean, not even just buying all the controllers I have. The amount that I spent to repair some of the controllers that I have is more than $90.
One control. This, if I wasn't friends with Noah, would have been hundreds. This would have been at least like $200 to $300. Like things like that are stupid priced, and there's some logic behind it. I'll forever give logic to rarity, right? Like this shell, you can't find that shell anywhere. Like that is a custom shell. I don't know if it was painted. I don't know how he got it, but props to him. The hard work that goes into the actual building sometimes and the mods themselves, sure, that deserves some pricing. Panda is out here as a global organization, I guess you could say, or at least a US or whatever, and they're able to put these things out at a $90 price tag because they actually understand that like they want their shit to work.
Then they'll have the production to get it.
Also true.
You know what I mean? Like, like someone's like Gooms isn't going to be able to like mass produce enough to make it worth that he can get it at $90. But I mean, so yeah, there's $10K back. Can we talk a second about the people that are just throwing money at Panda and buying the gold controllers?
That's some stupid shit.
Have you been following this at all?
Not entirely.
Okay,
no.
so let me finish. So we have the Panda controller $90 pledge. Mm-hmm. There's 10,000 people that have done that.
Mm-hmm. I'm on their Kickstarter too.
Yeah. So they had a gold-plated shell Panda controller. It says in the description, like, why would you buy this? We have no idea. Who wants a gold-plated controller? It's not even comfortable. It's just the shell.
Yeah.
Because we can't do everything else because that won't work. $1,000.
And there are 5 people that have backed that.
And they bought it. And then they put out the gold Panda controller, but more expensive. They go, this is the same exact thing as before, but more expensive. Why did anyone buy the last ones? 4 to 4 backed. They bought them.
This is a useless item. Stop buying this.
And then someone from Panda tweeted, he goes, I just got the okay from the people. We can do a rose gold controller.
Do you see it?
1,500 gold Panda controller, but rose gold. This makes no sense. Nobody was supposed to buy the gold plated shells. Then they sold out twice. What's wrong with you? 5 out of 5 sold.
It's actually fucking ridiculous.
Like, what is this? Who are these? I mean, I guess these are the people that are like bidding and buying like a crazy modded controller for like $700. Let's just do this.
It just blows my mind that like people will do that. There's 5 people that have done that, but not one has done the mogul tier, which is just a Panda controller. There's nothing special about it, but you buy it to make a statement. We'll put your name on the Kickstarter too, right at the top. This one comes with more rep than the others, and people are still like, whatever. Like, this shit's fucking ridiculous. But 10,000 backers, 10,000. So where's my calculator app at? Am I right? So 10,207 times 90 at most. And that's just at most because it's $90 or more. People could be funding more.
Well, it'll be, I think, for another $20 that gets you like the weights. There's there's plugs. I think that's going to come in later. Actually, no, some of it's included because of the stretch goals.
Gotcha.
Where was it? Some of it... The 2,000, the weight pack is now in, or there's an expansion
pack
for $20, I think.
Yep. Okay.
And now,
yeah. I don't know. I guess the way I look at it is just I'm excited for this thing to come out. Here's what I'm scared of. Here's what I'm really scared of. It's Kickstarter. I don't know how familiar you are with Kickstarter, but Kickstarter does not give a shit about anything. People make projects on Kickstarter all the time. Granted, this is a full-on company. Like Panda is a legitimate company that people already know of. But there are a lot of Kickstarters that get funded that never hit production. Or they delay and they delay and they delay, and then the product is never as good as it sounds. That is the biggest reason that ultimately, as much as I want to support this and I am praying that it actually turns out fine, I am more than happy to wait, find out that maybe I have to pay like an extra $50 or something if I want a controller when they are fully released or anything like that, if it even gets to that point. But I am fucking waiting until this shit comes out. Because Kickstarter does not have a good rep. Controllers have already had more than enough fucking confusion and issues with modifications, with customizations, with people claiming, oh, this is the tier 3 motherboard god version where you can shield drop with your dick hole. Like, too much shit has come out to where even from a big company, if Nintendo can't even create controllers that we're going to like, remember the Smash 4 controllers? Like, the white ones were pretty solid, but, like, the black ones were only good for, like, Wizzy? Like, I don't remember anyone enjoying those controllers.
The Ultimate controllers were hit and miss.
That, too.
I had one of them that I used for a while. That was a go-to I had for a little bit.
It's just like, I don't know. I'm optimistic. I really am optimistic about this. As someone that definitely considers himself a pessimist in a lot of areas, I am optimistic with this.
This is interesting because I technically have not backed it either.
Yeah.
And
do you think you're going to? Because I can hard press say I'm not going to. Not right now.
I don't think I'm going to right now.
Mm-hmm. I want to see more.
Wait.
I want to see more. I feel like a fucking COVID denier. I don't trust the vaccine. I want to see them do more research. They trying to stick me with the chemicals.
I mean, I already bought like that frame one in the back. I paid like $130. Okay, I'm just so brief. Granted, there's a lot of production things because of COVID. I pre-ordered the frame one 2 minutes after it went live.
Nice.
I was probably within the first like 20 people to ever order a frame run. It took like 7 months for me to get it. And it was supposed to be like a 3-month. And I get like parts got stuck with COVID and there were problems with this and problems with that. But even like a 3-month wait that turned to like 6 months, I was so over the trend of like really wanting to try it. And like at one point I was like, would I switch? I don't know. I got it. And yeah, I had fun. And there was a couple weeks I was playing and I can like do some things all right on it. But I was like, oh, I just like this. I guess it was last year then that I bought this. But I mean, it was like $140 and it kind of feels like it'd be the same thing. This is saying December 2022. It's probably going to be December 2023. And I can see it. And even though I do have money that I could do that now, part of me is like, that's so long.
Yep.
That's all. It's funny. This is just even a little thing in like Kickstarter things. There's a Binding of Isaac Kickstarter for like, it was like a card game or something that they were coming out and it was huge and it absolutely slammed. And I bought the $1 tier because I was looking at maybe getting like an Isaac plushie or something like that. And you needed to buy the $1 tier to get to the add-ons for the shop.
Okay.
In the Kickstarter. And I was like, oh, okay. And I like got it and I was like, oh, it's like, oh, response is needed. And I'm like, oh, when do I need, or like, when is this? And it's like, yeah, these will probably roll out in like 2022. And I'm like,
exactly.
And I got this in like September. And I was like, what?
Yeah. No, and that's what I'm saying. It's the biggest fear. Kickstarter is not going to hold these guys accountable to any of this. If Panda Global wanted to, they just got like almost $2 million. They can, or not almost $2 million, a little bit over $1 million. They could disown their entire org, fire everyone, and hold that money and do nothing because Kickstarter won't do anything about it. I don't see them doing it. That sounds fucking wild. I don't see them doing it, but I would like to see more. I kind of find it funny. I made with making the reference to the fucking COVID denier bullshit with the anti-vax and whatever. At least with vaccinations, like we have seen, the increase in immunization and like people being healthy or whatever. With this, we have only seen like maybe a prototype design and like that's it. Give your top players the controller when it's made. Show us the game being played. Get legitimate testimonials.
Yeah.
And fuck it. I'd back it. I would back it. I would do the $90 probably. I would, because then I'm never buying a controller again. I have no fucking reason to the way it's added.
Yeah. Let's hear what Cody says, you know?
I want to hear Cody. I want to hear Mango. Hell, honestly, I doubt this will happen, but I want to hear Armada. I would love to hear Armada's take on it because he's a fucking controller freak too. As much as he doesn't play the game that much anymore, he'll play doubles with like Android and whatnot. I'd love to hear his take, and I want to hear M2K's take. I want to hear a lot of the big names give a take on this before I decide to back it, because I know a majority of these guys will give some form of a like honest take, whereas I'm honestly worried about a Cody take or a Plup take or a Waddy take because they're sponsored. They're not going to fuck. I can guarantee you right now, all of them, put money on it. Every single one of them is going to say it's good. Whether it is or not, they're going to say it's good because they are literally sponsored. Like, they might have like minor criticism.
Yeah, Cody's going to be like, it's good, but it's not. You're not going to hear someone like, he's not going to rip into it.
No. And to be totally transparent, I think someone's going to need to, because there's got to be something wrong with it. There's got to be something that someone will point out and it's going to be like, okay, but is this okay versus controller lottery versus the shit that you already have? So I'm excited to see where it goes. That's really all it is. I'm excited to see where it goes. And I don't know. I guess, we'll add that to a segment on here, the Panda Watch. We're doing a watch on the controller status and like where we're at in production with all that. But for right now, like I said, guys, this is going to be a little bit more of a shorter one. We just wanted to kind of talk about, some controllers and fun stuffs. I know you got your recital thing or your concert, so that is important as well. We got to make sure our lives are fitting in this as well, in this nice space. Always want to shout out the Patreon as always, patreon.com/thebakersdozen. There's extra flipping content on there.
There's content.
What are you doing? There's freaking content on there. Don't you want to watch it? Go fucking sub.
You know
what I'm gonna do? $5.
You want to know what I'm gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
Once I get access to the Discord,
or are you gonna just start posting shit?
I'm gonna post a picture of my bunny.
You guys have never seen his bunny, but he's got a cute little bunny.
Thumper's the best.
You know what you could do? Wait, we could add that to the smiley face tier. For every person that subs to the smiley face tier, you post a photo of the bunny.
A thumper pic.
A thumper pic. Thumper pic. All right, I'm going to change that. So you heard it here first. If the Patreon's changed, and now you know why. It's
$1 for a thumper pic. Honestly,
$1 thumper pic.
It's like a steal.
Easy. Thumper pic, easy. And if, you know what, we'll change the $100 tier to you'll post a video with you and Thumper.
I'll post a video of like, this is, you know what? If someone gets $100, I'll put a picture of you on my phone and get a video of you and Thumper together.
That's wholesome. That's some wholesome love with Thumper for $100. But it's $5 to get the exclusive content. I think
it's $3 for the Discord, $5 for the as Odoblock would
that's
say,
the audio
Zonten.
file. Well, that's for the audio file. Wait a minute. Hold on. Where is
I want to see the backstage pass where someone gets to listen to this live and just hear.
That could be fun.
That just seems like it seems so cool.
It's a fun time. Oh yeah, it's exclusive content. Yeah, $5. $5 to the Patreon, guys. You got extra content. It's a lot of fun. Some of these episodes have a bit of a longer intro for those that maybe are listening. So if you listen through Patreon, it's got a little bit of a longer intro. But speaking of listening, if you don't feel like watching our pretty faces talk on YouTube, I know sometimes the audio desyncs between our voices. Sometimes don't mind that. Don't pay attention. Stop asking questions. We are on Spotify. We are exclusively only on Spotify because fuck other streaming services that make you pay for them. Spotify's the homie.
Ad, but if you guys want to sponsor
hashtag
we'll probably
non-hashtag ad, but shout outs to Spotify as the best way to listen to our podcast, The Baker's Dozen. But we love you. We will see you next week.
We're getting close to the end of the first season.
Episode 9 wrapped up. Put a bow on that bitch. All right, we'll see you later, Drew. You get to say bye. You say bye.
All right, guys. Have a good night. Peace out. Catch you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Put a bow on that bitch.
Put a bow on that bitch, you know?